Okay, we'll start the recording in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the call tonight. We're so fortunate tonight to have a guest speaker, Michael Alexander, who is our Vice President of Doobly in charge of Asia, and an absolutely wonderful speaker. If you've never heard Michael speak, you're in for a treat tonight. Michael is back in the United States for a short period of time and will be going off over the pond again soon. But he has agreed to come and visit with us once a month. He said he may have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but that's okay. He doesn't mind. We all benefit every time we hear Michael speak. Michael is so eloquent in how he presents Doobly. And while he's talking, I'd like for you to pay attention to his total dedication and the way that it's called structuring. The way that he structures himself. And what we all need to do is pay attention to this and try to model ourselves after Michael, especially in the partner program, which is what he is going to be speaking about tonight. And without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Michael Alexander, Vice President of Doobly.
Kat, thank you so much for inviting me to join you and your team this evening. And we have some very exciting things in store for everyone with regards to Doobly's private label. Time, like many other companies that we've seen come on the scene and become significant in terms of their contribution in the e-commerce space, that's exactly what Doobly has done as well, except in a different vein, because Doobly is not like Amazon.com. In the strictest sense of the Amazon.com model. We're not like a Google in the strictest sense of what Google does. However, what Doobly does do is essentially the best of what they both do. We are the world's only global cashback community, giving people access to the world's biggest, the world's best, the world's most popular and most famous brands for virtually everything that's e-connected. Now, why do companies like Amazon and other big name companies, whether we're talking Nike or we're talking Samsung or Sony or any of the big name companies, do business with Doobly? It's because what Doobly has created brings them value. You see, we're not competing with them. We're not trying to become an Amazon.com or a Google or a Microsoft or an Apple or an eBay or any of the other significant e-commerce companies. Rather, we have our own very unique and very powerful business model that is customer driven. Because at the end of the day, what every business anywhere in the world, what they need is customers. And what Doobly focused on was developing and bringing to market the very best customer value proposition, something that could add value to any business, whether they're in e-commerce or they're in some other type of business. I mean, I'm talking about, as we'll illustrate in just a moment, even someone that may own a small restaurant. How could they benefit from what Doobly has created? That's what we're going to talk about tonight as we go through the Doobly private label, or sometimes called white label, partner program. Because what Doobly has done is showcase in a global community the brands that we all know, trust, and use. But the reality is that with Doobly, as a member, as a customer, you're not only getting direct access and doing business as you've always done with all of these brands we know and trust, but because we're Doobly members, we get cash back on all of our transactions. I've yet to meet anyone in the world that would rather pay full price rather than pay less. And what Doobly allows the customer to do is to have the best of all experiences, be in charge of who they're going to spend their money with, get the same customer service, customer support, guarantees, warranties, that sort of thing. And because these companies love Doobly's ability to bring so many customers from all walks of life, from all over the world to them, everyone wins. The brands that are in the Doobly community, they win. The customer wins because they're getting a better experience and money back that they're spending. And of course, Doobly wins. We have to be profitable for making this connection. But then there's the opportunity for us individually to win if we choose to be involved in the business development side of Doobly, because we can introduce this customer value proposition to people for individuals to take advantage of. But also we, by being involved in the business development side, can take this private label partner program to all of the businesses around the world, the decision makers of companies that are for profit, as well as the board for nonprofit organizations, and show them how they can greatly benefit from what Doobly has created. Now, what we're going to be going over here next, you might want to take some notes on. However, Kat, I am going to send you a couple of different documents that basically will outline what we're going to be talking about here tonight. And I use these as a way of introducing Doobly as a follow-up once we make a presentation to any business. Because in our presentation, and we have some incredible support for all of you that are involved in the business development side, tools such as PowerPoint presentations and videos and much more that can help you make a very professional presentation to these organizations, as well as to showcase for them some of the many organizations that are around the world that have already implemented Doobly's turnkey private label platform, which is a solution, and how they can benefit. Now, we're going to go over 5 major reasons why any organization would want to take advantage of this. But very simply, let me sum a couple of things up before we go over these 5 points. You see, with Doobly's partner program, we offer a co-branded turnkey version of Doobly.com. However, when we provide this private label solution, it doesn't showcase the Doobly brand or the Doobly name. It showcases each organization's own brand and name. It gives all the participating organization, no matter what size, a professional, reliable web presence while providing the platform that Doobly has created to do many things for the database, whether it's a large company that's offering it as an employee benefit or an organization that's offering it as a added value customer loyalty or reward program, or in the case of nonprofits that have members, supporters, or followers. All of these things are relevant to this model because we will build for them their very own community branded to them with their own unique URL, and then they will have access. Now, here's the 5 reasons why any company would want to take advantage of what we just described. Number 1, every business owner will acknowledge that for them to be in business and competitive or stay in business, they need to promote their with the world's biggest, best, most popular, and most famous brands, many of which are multi-billion-dollar brands, and they're associated with them in their own private label branded community site. The second reason, which I touched on a moment ago, but let's go over it again because it's very important. The value proposition that this gives each private label partner is the means to facilitate goodwill and loyalty and retention of their customers, their employees, members, and supporters of their organization because of the value they're receiving, because we authorize them to give away unlimited VIP memberships. Number 3, it gives them the ultimate e-commerce platform and strategy to partake or to participate in this new digital economy, which everyone wants to be involved in. They want to stake their claim in what some call a modern day gold rush. It's a digital economy, e-commerce, and without spending the millions, tens of millions, even hundreds of millions of dollars required to create what Doobly has already created, not to mention the millions it takes to support it and maintain it and continue to develop it, we provide it to them, you might say, on a silver platter. Now, number 4, which is very important because in business, you're in business to make a profit. What this allows them to do is to monetize their current database, at the same time expanding that database globally with viral growth. And here, very simply, is how that happens. You see, we authorize, as I said, each of these private label partners the ability to gift a free VIP membership. Now, when their members or employees or customers or supporters use this membership to do what they're already doing with all the name brands they do business with, and they're receiving cash back, substantial cash back, more cash back than you're going to see or experience with any other cashback community. Not to mention, we have the reach of being global. Not to mention, we have the range of going beyond just shopping to cover all of travel, to cover entertainment, finance, telecom, insurance, and much, much more. They have the ability to access all of that and receive 30% of all of those cashback transactions that they receive as their members are using this database and participating in this community and the value that they receive. And of course, number 5, everything that we've just talked about and described, which is very important to any business owner, is that they understand and recognize that all of this does not conflict with their core business resources. Why? Because Doobly is providing them a turnkey solution. We've already made the investment in time, money, and resources to create the infrastructure that is a global community, and we continue to support and maintain that, as well as providing the accounting, as well as providing the marketing and the means for them to start migrating over that database. And so by building the value in this turnkey solution, each and every potential private label can earn significant monies. Now, I'm going to give you an example as we start to wrap up our call today in terms of the potential that exists with this model that Doobly has created. Now, very simply, we all know that in the world today, e-commerce sales are growing every year. We see e-commerce sales going up, and we see traditional retail sales going down. Now, some people may not be as informed as they should be, but let me give you a couple of facts. When we look at e-commerce since 1994, in the 19 years following 1994, by the end of 2013, e-commerce sales globally exceeded over $1 trillion. Now, that does not include business-to-business transactions. We're talking purely business-to-consumer, as we've been describing thus far. Over $1 trillion in those 19 years. However, what's important to pay attention to is what happened last year. Because in 2014, e-commerce sales exploded even beyond the experts' expectations and projections and exceeded over $1.5 trillion in sales. That's over a $500 billion increase. And of course, that's not the whole story. As Paul Harvey used to say, the rest of the story is that based on the current growth, we expect, or the experts are telling us we should expect, to see e-commerce sales exceed more than an additional $1 trillion this year, maybe even as much as 2.7 to 2.8 trillion, depending on who you're talking to. And again, this is just the tip of the iceberg, because there's no stopping something whose time has come. The world we live in today is becoming more and more connected to the internet. Our devices and technology is making it easier and easier for us to connect to the internet for virtually everything. Businesses around the world are using this platform, and we are taking advantage of it as a consumer society. And as we go forward in the not too distant future, in the next few years, e-commerce sales are expected to top 5, 6, 7 trillion with no end in sight. Now, who wouldn't want to partake or participate in this new digital economy, especially when Doobly has made it so easy and so simple to do to get 30% of all the money that's being saved by each organization's respective databases. Now, if you take into account what the average person is spending online today, and you take into account the average cash back that individual consumer is receiving, and you multiply that number times the 30% the partner program is receiving for 10,000 people in a database, consumers, customers in a database that are shopping online based on today's standards, which are obviously going to be less than what people are spending next year and the years ahead. But based on today's numbers, for every 10,000 in the database, that could create for any business using Doobly's solution roughly $900,000 to $1 million a year. Now imagine that. Many organizations have way bigger databases than 10,000. Now, of course, some have less. As I mentioned, the restaurant owner who serves on average hundreds of people every day, possibly 1,000 or thousands every week, not to mention how many thousands every month, month after month. Now, how could they participate in this? Well, imagine this scenario. If you owned a restaurant and we came in and we gave a full presentation as to who Doobly is as a debt-free global company, publicly traded, with this solution or answer to what people are seeking today, because people are looking for ease of use, they're looking for convenience, they're looking for a positive experience, they're looking to save money. Doobly answers all of those things. And imagine that if you owned a restaurant, and instead of just bringing someone the bill at the end of their meal, inside that little jacket, there was a beautiful gold embossed thank you card. Thank you for dining with us today. Now, just getting a thank you card makes us all feel good, doesn't it? But imagine if on the bottom of thank you for dining with us, it said, please read the reverse side as we have a very special gift for you. How many people would turn it over and read the other side? Well, probably everyone. Now, here's what it could say on the other side, something like this. To express our gratitude for your coming in to dine with us today, we have made special arrangements for you and all of our loyal customers to receive your very own free VIP membership in the world's largest and only global cashback shopping community, wherein you will find all the world's biggest, best, most popular, and most famous brands for everything that you spend money on, whether it's travel, shopping, entertainment, telecom, insurance, finance, and much, much more. And you can start saving immediately with your membership an average of 10 to 15%. And sometimes with special deals and promotional discounts, even up to 70% savings. To redeem your free membership, with our compliments, simply go to our website, which we've provided them, right? We've provided them their own community global portal with their own unique URL. And so you direct them there. And then maybe at the bottom, you might even see a restaurant ad something like this. In addition to our free gift, if you'll return this card with you when you come back in to dine with us, we will also, with our compliments, like to extend to you your choice of any appetizer or dessert on our menu. Or maybe they offer buy one entree, get one free, which we see restaurants doing all the time. But imagine how many customers they could turn into loyal members of their own community if they took advantage of Doobley's private label partner program. Now, this is just a restaurant. This could apply for health clubs or spas. It could apply to the beauty shop. It could apply to the car dealership. It could apply to literally any kind of business, no matter how small or how big, that wants to give real value, measurable value, a gift that keeps on giving. And every time that gift gives them the positive experience of getting money back on all their future transactions, you, as one of Doobley's private label partner programs, are receiving 30%. Imagine if your database started at 1,000 and you were just generating an extra 90,000 to 100,000 a year, but it grew to 5,000 or 10,000 because, as I mentioned in one of those 5 examples, we're talking about not only monetizing their existing database, but extending that database, because don't we all have friends? We certainly hope everyone has friends, and of course they have family. Well, who wouldn't share a positive experience like this, whereby their friends and family could take advantage of a free membership and save hundreds or even thousands of dollars, money that they're spending anyway with the same companies they're going to spend it with, but now they're getting money back. It's a business model that has come of age. The time is now. It just makes sense. And Doobley has prepared a way for everyone, whether you as an individual or you as a business owner, can participate in this new digital economy. Now, if you're wondering, if you're hearing all of this for the first time, what's in it for you? If you set up an account like we're just describing, the minimum that you would make would be 1/3 of what this account is earning. So if they were earning 30,000 a year because they're very tiny, you'd be earning 10,000. But let's say they're not tiny, they're just small, and they're earning 100 to 300,000 a year from this, and you're getting 1/3. Well, that's $33,000 to $100,000 extra per account for you. But imagine if you set up an account that had 10,000 customers and they were earning in the neighborhood of 900,000 to $1 million based on what they're spending this year, which next year they're going to be spending more, which means profits are going to go up. That means your profits are as well. Imagine if you set up an account that was earning $1 million a year. That'd be over 300,000 a year for you. Now, how many accounts, I would ask you at this point, would you like to set up? Just one? Because that'll take care of all of your financial troubles? Or would you like to set up 2 or 3, or maybe 4 or 5 or more? Well, it's really all up to you. So in closing, let me say, please get back to the person that cared enough about you to invite you to join us today, and help yourself by asking them to supply you with all of the additional information, because our call today only gives us enough time to really give you the highlights. There is so much more to this, and the more you see and the more you hear, the better you're going to like it. That I can guarantee you. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Kat. And again, thank you so much for inviting me to join you today and share this information.
Michael, thank you so much for being with us as always. You get me very excited. I'm ready to re-enroll and do the PPA program all over again. I am new at the PPA program, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted Michael to talk on the call tonight, because I know there's a lot of us out there getting started on this program, and that was a tremendous asset to me, Michael. And again, I appreciate you being here, but I also appreciate each and every one of you being here and giving your time, because I know that in this day and age we're all time stressed, to come to this call. I'd like for each one of you to do me a favor, and I believe we're going to be able to have Michael back at least one more week before he goes back over the pond. And I'd like each one of you to please bring at least one guest or a team member to this call and help me build this call up, because what we're trying to do with this call is to have our direct upline leaders such as Michael Alexander and Dean Mannheimer and Jerry Yerke, and possibly have well, who knows who we might have on this call. But in order for these folks to want to give us this call, their time for this call, we're going to have to show up with the folks. So again, I do appreciate each one of you being here. I also want to remind you guys now that tomorrow evening we have a live stream from the conference in Salt Lake that Michael is there. Michael is actually in Doc's office tonight, and they're preparing for a wonderful event tomorrow night where we're going to be able to hear some of the greatest leaders in the company speak directly to us. And you don't even have to be there. With the age of technology that we have today, we'll be able to direct stream it. If you don't have that information and you need that information, I sent it out to all of my team and anyone that I had on my list today. But you can contact me at texasdoobly@gmail.com. Again, that's pretty simple, texasdoobly@gmail.com, and I will be glad to send you the information to register. So again, be sure that you remember that, and I am going to unmute, Brent Robinson, and I'm going to let my fearless leader, Brent, who is a stockholder in Doobly and has taught me a lot about the Doobly operation. I'm going to let Brent take this one away. Doc, would you please unmute Brent?
Can you hear me, Kat?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
All right. Well, thanks, Kat, for having me on too. And Michael, once again, it's a pleasure. You know, it's been 2 years since you and I joined. It's just over 2 years since we joined Doobly here, and what a run! And you know, a 13-year-old company. I was talking to a couple folks the other day about joining the business, and you know, one thing they said to me, well, it's a 13-year-old company. Don't you want to get on the front end of these types of companies? And I started laughing because, you know, as we've talked, Kat, Michael, Dean, all of us, about how ground floor this opportunity truly is right now. Because I'm telling you what, if you're just now taking a look at this opportunity, I'm going to tell you what, in the next 12 to 18 months, what you're going to see what Doobly's going to do, I believe, is going to break all the records ever held in this industry because of what they put together over the last 13 years. It might not have happened as fast as they wanted it to, but I'm telling you what, they have dotted their I's, crossed their T's, they made sure they didn't get the cart in front of the horse, and now we're the ones that are going to be rewarded for sticking in here, going through some ups and downs. And I'm going to tell you what, this partner program you just heard Michael talk about is unbelievable, and I've never seen anything like this in my 20 years in this industry, guys. And so the timing, the positioning couldn't be any better, and, you know, there's so many people out there still looking for just opportunities. I mean, they're out there looking, and there's not a better opportunity on the planet right now. And one thing with Doobly you can count on is these guys, when they tell you they're going to do something, they do it. And one thing that I love about Doobly, they don't have any competition out there. There is zero competition with what they have put together over the past 13 years. And so in the next 12 to 18 months, guys, this is a business right now that is going to change thousands and thousands of people's financial future forever. And that's exciting to me, Kat and Mike. I tell you what, Mike, you get me so pumped up every time I hear you. I want to sign up all over again. But I know these calls, we want to try to keep them to a half hour. But once again, you heard Kat say we're going to have Dean Mannheimer join us on Wednesdays. We're going to have Michael join us. We're going to have Jerry Yerke. And hopefully we'll even have the CEO pop in here, help out, along with Doc and Jerry. Guys, I just appreciate everybody out there that's been here with us, and I'm going to see everybody at the top. So everybody, make sure you heard Kat just say, make sure you tie into that live stream tomorrow night with the Salt Lake City meeting. Michael's going to be up on stage. Dean's going to be up there, and it's going to be a show you don't want to miss. So thanks once again for everybody joining us tonight, and we'll see you back here next Wednesday. Everybody have a wonderful evening.